Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Switching Stances. I am one of your hosts, Tyler, joined by my good friend, my good buddy, Ollie, aka Gaz. How's it going, mate?
It's going okay. I'm a little bit sick, but again, because apparently my immune system doesn't work anymore.
Yes.
I don't know if you just have to have a podcast host who always is compromised somehow.
Yeah,
or what.
It's true. It's true. Well, James used to reckon I was always sick back in the day.
Yeah, he did.
Which there was periods where I was when I was at uni and worked full-time, studied full-time, and also had like weekend part-time jobs and ran a YouTube channel that uploaded a couple times a week. I would get sick like, especially during winter, 7 times during winter, like the 3-month winter period. I'd be sick all the fucking time. I was so run down. I don't know how I lived, to be honest, while I was at uni. I don't know how I am alive today. I could never do it now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about me at the moment. I mean, it might just be being winter, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably
it's
is.
Just...
Probably is. Well, it's not even winter. Well, it's coming into winter, right? November?
Yeah.
I forget. I still
cold.
feel like we're in October, but it's November. It's getting on.
Yeah.
It's getting on. Fuck. The year's almost over, bro. It's been wild. It's just wild how fast it all goes. Yeah, it's been a lot. We're back once again. UFC 295 just happened at the time of recording this yesterday. For me, for you, I mean, you watch it like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I stay up.
Which for you, mate, I mean, sometimes you'd be like, this was a waste of my fucking time. Not today. Yeah. You would have felt very happy that you did. I felt very happy for you. And honestly, I've just, like, I look back at the last couple of pay-per-views, I've watched Izzy and Volk, like, two of our boys, Aussie, Kiwi, go down. And it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not been enjoyable, bro. I've got to be real with you. It's been really fucking me off, to be honest. It's really been fucking me off. But UFC 295 delivered. I always look forward to the November MSG shows since the first one, UFC 205, Alvarez McGregor. Like, they've always just been, mark your calendar, November MSG show, bangers. The cards always, even when the fights, like, you look at the fight card and it looked, if you're a fight fan, you know. You're like, these are solid fights, even though it's not necessarily all big stacked with names, other than the main and co-main event. But if you know fighting, you knew this main card was going to slap, and it absolutely fucking delivered. 3 first-round finishes, 2 second-round finishes. Like, it was awesome. I don't think there was any... It's interesting because Conor McGregor, of all people, tweeted he didn't feel like there was any star standout performances, and I would agree with that, but it was just fun fighting. Like, there was no one that came out of that going, new superstar type thing. Maybe Tom's the closest, but
probably Tom.
Tom's probably the closest, but the fact that it's an interim, you know what I mean? If it was the undisputed, you probably would say that. You know what I mean?
We'll talk about that.
Sure. We will. It's obviously going to come to discussion. We're going to go through the main card. We also have, while we've been gone, because again, you know, life happens. Congratulations as well. You've got a new job that you're starting in a matter of hours. So super stoked for you. That's amazing. But so there's been some scheduling things. Anyway, we're here every chance we get. We're going to talk about the main card. Then we're going to talk about 3 new main events for 2024 that have been announced. UFC 298, 297, 298, 299. They even showed most of the card for 297 on the broadcast at UFC 295 yesterday, and it's a fucking pretty solid card. There's some great fights on that card. So anyway, we'll talk about that on today's episode. But Gaz, how's everything else going? You all good? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, again, I've been doing job stuff mainly.
Yeah.
I went out last weekend off to Birmingham to see some of our friends, which was really nice seeing everybody. And then I had an interview in the car on the way to Birmingham. So since then, it has just been a sort of mad scramble to get prepared for today.
Yep. You feel ready? Do you feel prepared?
Yeah. It's a short day today. It's just like a little training day. So it shouldn't be too intense. I think I'm just learning like the IT system and stuff, which is, you know, I'm getting eased into it for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I was very jealous the other weekend when you were with our mates. Because obviously I live in Australia and you live in the UK, but we are very good friends and we have a group of very close friends that we share, but all of you live in the UK. I'm the only one that doesn't live in the UK. And I get very jealous from when you all get together and I obviously can't be there. It sucks. I'll be real.
It does suck. It sucks for us as well.
Yeah, no, I know.
Not as much, I'm sure.
No, probably not as much.
No.
You know, my girlfriend has to hear about it a lot every time like, we talk about you guys, or I'm just like, oh, I just want to be there. I just want to go over to England, you know, with the boys. It's hard. I miss you guys, but it looked like you had a fucking great time.
Yeah, it was a good time. So
when there's the big hangout with the boys next year, I'll be there. That's my aim. Mm-hmm. Desperate to get back. Yeah. It's been busy on my end. Work's crazy. You know, post fight, you sort of like have to. You go through that slump because I'm a very goal-oriented person. Always have to be onto something, working towards something, and you know you enjoy the high of the post fight, and a bit of relaxing, a bit of downtime, and then catching up with life, like because you neglect not that you neglect a few things, but people like friends, relationships, parents, family, things like that, even work, sort of know that I have my fight stuff, and you know you sort of got to pay that back, help be there for people a bit, do certain things. So it's been a bit of that, been a bit overwhelming in some ways, but sort of figuring it out, getting there, finding, leveling myself out again, finding that next thing, because I need, you know, the next goal, the next thing, because probably won't be fighting till you know, March next year is the aim. So for the rest of this year, 2023, just sort of trying to get on top of everything, trying to sort it all out, heading into the new year, still training as much as I can, and trying to like level up and focus a bit on grappling and in wrestling and stuff a bit more. But yeah, not as much as I'd like to. Like I'd love to be there every day, but at the moment, I'm working some late days. So just, it's fucking with me, but here we are. It's all good. We move. But I was very glad to have a great UFC on yesterday.
Yes.
UFC 295. Let's get into it. Should we start from the top, the main event, and work our way down? I like it this way. It this way. So the main event, Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira for the undisputed UFC light heavyweight championship. It ends by second round TKO. Alex Powhatan Pereira is now a 2-division UFC world champion in just 11 MMA fights, not even UFC fights, 11 MMA fights in 2 years. The new king of Madison Square Garden, Powhatan, he's done it. We obviously didn't get to do a preview podcast to do our picks. I did pick Alex. I was rooting for Alex. It wasn't probably until the walkouts that I think both Jared, who I was watching it with, and I switched up. And we're like, I don't know. I think I want Jiri to win just because I felt like it was better for the light heavyweight division for Jiri to win. But I'm pretty, I enjoyed the fight a lot. The build up to it was great. The stare down, who these two guys are, I was so pumped for this fight. Some controversy with the stoppage. Gaz, give me your thoughts on the fight and give me your thoughts on the stoppage as well. Did you think it was a bit early?
I was going to pick Pereira, I think, ahead of time. I think it's hard not to pick Pereira, given what Jiri done and how hittable Jiri has always been, especially with lead hand stuff. His guard doesn't really exist, so a lot of the time his defense is just pulling his head out of the way. And he's always been able to evade sort of big movements, which light heavyweights throw a lot. But lead hands, jabs. I mean, Glover double jabbed him and blasted him to another dimension at the end of their fight.
True. Yep.
Just lead hand shit has always been a bit of an issue for him, and Pereira's, infamous left hook is one that I had always sort of, you don't have to be a fucking genius to go, struggles with lead hand shit. Pereira, his biggest shot is a lead hook.
Yeah.
Also, low kicks were always going to be there.
Yeah.
never fucking checked a low kick. He leaned so heavy on that lead foot. It was really just a matter of like, can Jiri upset Pereira early enough to stop Pereira getting his proper game in and just finish him early? Which, to be fair, he did alright at. He was the one that was always moving forward, which Pereira wants to be as well. They're both guys that want to be always on the front foot.
Well,
And
I mean,
Jiri
the funny
definitely
part
took
was
that.
it was from the back foot that Alex dropped him.
Yeah, gets pushed up to the cage, sort of a short right hand and then a left hook, and just drops him to his knees.
Like that guy must have fucking granite in his hands, because that was such a short left hook. Like, couldn't be shorter of a left hook.
Yeah, he keeps it so tight to his body. It's like a little T-Rex arm that he just whips around.
And Jiri just dropped like a sack of fucking shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Which we've seen before. We've seen guys do that to him before, but they don't have the... I don't know what it is. They just don't have the same power maybe that Pereira does. And
Pereira has killer instinct too. You've got to give him that. Like when he had Izzy hurt...
Yeah. He switched on.
Dude, he has it. He knows when he's got you hurt. He absolutely smells blood. What I found interesting, like I've only watched these fights the once, so I might be totally wrong on this, but while I was watching it, there was one thing that I guess bothered me, and maybe because I am a southpaw, that I noticed it and it was pissing me off.
Yeah.
But Jiri switches stances a lot
He
and
does
switched
do
a
that.
lot in this fight. Now, what pissed me off was he only really threw offense from orthodox, and that's when he was sort of getting caught with the calf kicks.
Yeah.
And then every time he switched southpaw, though, again, susceptible to an inside calf kick from Pereira, inside calf kick's easier to check than the outside. And Alex didn't throw a calf kick once on the inside when he switched to southpaw, yet Jiri refused to stay at southpaw and didn't throw any offense from southpaw. Would switch and then switch back to throw offense from orthodox. So I was just a bit disappointed with Yuri's ability to adjust on the fly when getting kicked into another dimension, which he was repeatedly.
Yeah.
I mean, that first calf kick Alex landed dropped him.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to... I don't know, because he switches so much. And
But didn't throw anything, bro. Did not throw anything from southpaw. Didn't even throw a jab.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you would think if you're getting low kicked so viciously from orthodox, you would switch to try and take that away. And also, like, get your lead shoulder behind to block that left hook. Maybe you can hand fight a bit.
100%. Standing on the walking to the right, go southpaw, walking to the outside, even harder to kick that inside calf. You know what I mean? The one thing I understand though about maybe Jiri being a bit concerned to throw from southpaw is one thing southpaws can be very susceptible to, depending on where your lead hand is a left hook from an orthodox striker, which again, Pereira's biggest strike is the calf kick with his right foot and the left hook, which again, when you're coming in from a jab in southpaw, and pulling back from it, very susceptible to a left hook. So part of me understood, but then I also didn't understand why he didn't throw and switch to orthodox in a combination to sort of negate a calf kick, or when he was coming in from orthodox, throw and step into southpaw. You know what I mean? Like if he switches so much, don't switch for no reason. I mean, you talk about it, and you've sent me, like, you're a big fan of Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah.
I've seen Corey Sandhagen talk about this a lot, and I agree with him. Again, this podcast is called Switching Stances. I fight myself switching stances a lot. One thing I try to do, and I'm always trying to improve that as well and work on, is not just switching for no fucking reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't just switch to switch. And it felt like Jiri was switching to switch. Like he didn't know when he switched that ball, like he had no reason for it other than to maybe put Pereira a bit off of what he was doing, but he didn't use southpaw for anything. He didn't throw like there was a couple of combos when he'd duck in and step in and try to throw that like uppercut, and he was sort of switching as he was doing that. But Other than that, not much. He wasn't showing anything from the southpaw. I just would like to have seen more of a game plan because Alex has two very clear weapons, the calf kick, the left hook, and it just felt like he wasn't using stance switching to his advantage at all in that game plan. I don't really know what Yuri's game plan was, to be honest.
Here's the thing, man, is that I don't think that Yuri does game plans. I get the feeling that he sort of has a few ideas, but he's the sort of fighter that just goes in and flows and just is like, fuck it, you know, one of us is going out. Oh, yeah, I mean, same, but it's that sort of like, I don't know. I think it would bother me more in a good division, but in a division like light heavyweight, I mind it less.
It bothers me because
Yuri beast.
But Yuri winning this fight would have been so good for light heavyweight guys. Like, really is he's sort of a beast. Like, he hadn't lost before. Yeah. He looks awesome. He fights cool. His fights are exciting. Like, when Yuri's fighting, you want to watch. Yeah. And like that, when's the last time a light heavyweight's done that? You know what I mean? Like, that's exciting. Yeah. Like a light heavyweight championship. When was the last time you were this excited for a light heavyweight championship fight? Yuri and Pereira. Like, I was pumped for this. This was main event MSG, and I was like, fuck yeah, Yuri and Alex. That's sick. That's a sick fight, and it was a sick fight. I loved it. But I was just... in the fight, my thing was, I'm like, I don't care who wins because I really like Yuri and I really like Alex. But I think while watching, I was like, I just want Yuri to win purely because it's better for the division. But I'd probably like Alex a little bit more. So I was like, sort of my heart wanted Alex, but my head for the division wanted Yuri. In the end, very happy Alex won, very exciting. I didn't think it was like, I was sitting there, Jared, who I was with, he was like, that's definitely early. I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't think it was early. And I mean, Yuri himself said he was out afterwards as well. But I felt like when you're getting elbowed and you had someone double legs and you go from like going for a double leg to literally falling on your back after getting elbowed in the head, out. I don't care if you can come to within half a second. You were just going to get pummeled more, I thought. Anyway, I mean, if he had let it go longer, I wouldn't have been mad either. No. But I don't think it was a bad stoppage necessarily, but it was on the earlier side. What did you think? Are you thinking it's early?
That's kind of where I'm at as well. Is like, I would have liked to see the fight go longer because we've seen Yuri in horrible positions before, and he's just exploded out of them and cracked on. And the fight was so good and so much fun that, as a selfish fight fan, I would have liked to have seen that fight go on longer, and I would have liked to have seen Yuri be given the opportunity to... Yeah. Because as soon as Alex was pushed off, he bridged up and rolled back to his knees. He wasn't like...
It is a world title fight. It is a world title fight. I get it.
I saw someone compare it to when Chandler dropped Oliveira, and Oliveira was just sort of on his knees being hit for 3-4 seconds.
I think it's a bit different. I think it's a bit different because he dropped him and then dropped him again, with elbows to the temple, really hard shots.
I agree, but look, I do agree. He sort of pulled mount on himself, and he definitely went limp. He definitely was out for a second. I don't hate the stoppage, like from a looking after your fighters perspective.
Yeah. You're not mad that Alex won that way. You're not sitting there like, that's bullshit.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But part of you just wishes you're like, what would have happened?
Yeah, I think just with an athlete like Jiri Prochazka, who is so fucking weird, who like totally would pull mount anyway. Like, he is that sort of fucking guy. He did a lot of weird shit against Glover.
He didn't pull mount to me, though. Like, he went limp.
Yeah,
he fell to mount. And maybe he would have gotten up from there, but he fell to mount. He did not pull mount. Not a fucking chance in hell. He went.
I think it's probably a mixture of both. I think he probably felt himself falling and was like, fuck it, I want this guy on top of me. Rather than like, I don't want to be like collapsed at his fucking knees.
Yeah.
But it's all fucking minutia at that point. Like, I think that he went out, and I don't hate stopping the fight there. I just feel like with Jiri Prochazka in particular, you have to know the athlete, and you have to give him the benefit of the doubt in these weird scenarios, like he was out when Dominic Reyes upkicks him. He's talked about that. He was like, I was absolutely knocked out, and he cracked on and fucking destroyed Dominic Reyes' career. So,
oh, dude, he absolutely fucking ruined it. No, well, I mean, he didn't ruin it. John Jones's devil curse ruined it. The same way John Jones's devil curse, whatever deal he made with the devil, cursed that division.
Yeah.
Cursed Dominic Reyes for, Dominic Reyes beating John Jones. The MMA gods are like, no, we made a deal with John Jones. We took his spirit and his soul, and you're not allowed to beat him. So for the fact that you did beat him, we're not going to give you the win. The judges will take it away. And then we're going to ruin your career and the light heavyweight division once John Jones left it. And I fucking hate John Jones, but he fucking cursed him.
What did you think of Pereira's call out?
Oh, bro. What do you think I thought? What do you think I thought of it?
I think you're like, fuck off.
Really?
Don't do that.
Nah, bro. I fucking loved it.
Really?
Loved it. I was like, yes, please. UFC 300. Pereira Izzy 3 for the light heavyweight title. Perfect. It's partly why I wanted Alex to win. Because I'm like, Izzy, go fight Alex at 205. Fucking oath. Let's go. Because Izzy's not getting the rematch at 185 now.
No.
Drickus and Strickland are fighting for the belt, which is just fucking
so funny.
R-worded. So funny. So why not? Why not? He wanted a break. The 2027 thing was a joke.
Yeah, of course.
I still he was going to fight next year. He probably would have fought maybe mid next year rather than April. But
I'd say late, but yeah.
It's I mean, fuck it. I mean, he would. I'd love to see it, UFC 300.
You think Izzy would?
I think he would.
Have you seen Izzy's response?
I've seen him. I saw his response, but then I also saw his even more recent tweets. He just posted a video the last few hours as well. Talking about going heavy. Yeah, talking about like alluding to going heavier and stopping fighting smaller guys.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
that's interesting.
That's what I want to see. Because I watched his Yeah. I liked it, and I've seen the translation too. I thought it was really like, I loved Alex's call out because it was like, Alex clearly respects the fuck out of Izzy. And I like Poatan. When he got knocked out by Izzy, I was very fucking happy because I am an Izzy fan as much as
it's the worst thing about you.
Hates it. Yeah, it might be the worst thing about me, but you got to understand I'm a nationalist, and I'm an Aussie, but I'm also half Kiwi, so I must and will always. And he's on the team. He's on Volk's team. He's on Hooker's team. Pedro, all the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just is what it is. And I'm loyal. It's what we do. The only time I'll root against Izzy is if he fights Robert Whittaker, in which case I hope he gets fucking slept, Like, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
But I always liked Alex. I think he's a respectful fighter. I think he's a fun fighter. I think he's an amazing fighter. I think he's funny as fuck too. Quite a personality.
Yeah.
And he also came over to Australia this year and toured my rugby club and like the Melbourne Storm. And wore their jersey and the team, all the boys. So that also, and I said that to Jared, I'm like, I haven't seen Jiri wear a Melbourne Storm jersey. I've seen Alex wear a Melbourne Storm jersey. So therefore must root for Alex Pereira to win this fight. Like that's he didn't go to any other rugby clubs. He went to the Melbourne Storm. And there's no team, there's no sport, there's no fighter, there's nothing I love more than the Melbourne Storm. That's my bleed team for everything. And that includes Volk, everything. You know how much I love Volk. There's nothing I love more than the Melbourne Storm. That's the club. That's the boys.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So Alex wearing the jersey, he's definitely won me over there as well. Like it's definitely gained a big fan there. And might have been blessed as well by that great club to then go on and win the 205 title.
Maybe.
He hasn't lost a fight since is all I'm saying.
No.
He has not lost a fight since. But anyway, I do want to see Izzy and Alex go at it. Jamal Hill's a fucking dork and a loser, so I don't care about that.
I really don't like Jamal Hill. I find him super, super unlikable.
Yeah.
Don't like how he fights, particularly, and unlikable person, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy to... I don't know, right? Because
Alex can just go on a Glover revenge tour, beats Jiri, beats Jamal Hill.
Yeah. That's what's compelling about that, right? Is that it's the guy that beat Glover. It's kind of like a cool striking matchup, I guess.
I think Alex beats the fucking piss out of him, to be honest.
I really hope so. Hill would become so fucking insufferable if he beat Alex.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I'm not too worried about Jamal Hill fighting Pereira. I was more worried about Jiri, but I like Jiri, so I wouldn't have been mad. Whereas I'm pretty confident. You know, I mean, anything can happen, obviously, but I'm more confident that I'd think Alex would be more of a favourite against Jamal Hill than Jiri.
Yeah.
I'd pick Jiri against Jamal. I still want to see that fight, though. Jiri and Jamal Hill's a fight I would like to see down the road.
I did want to touch on that. Who do you see next for Prochazka? Or who would you like to see next for Prochazka?
I mean, I'd like to see him fight Jan. Jan's got a fight, though.
This is where I'm at.
But I would like to see him fight Jan. That's a good, compelling fight. I think Jan's probably... His days are probably done. I don't think he's going to be a world champion again, or maybe even fight for the belt again.
He's what, 40 now?
Yeah.
I think older.
Let's have a look at the rankings. But yeah, he's booked for a fight. So I don't know, man. I really don't know.
It'll be fucking fun.
What's that?
You know, it'd be fucking fun.
What's that?
If Johnny Walker beats Ankalaev. If you do Johnny Walker versus Jiri Prochazka.
Well, there's the thing, right? Because Dana says Jamal Hill's next. Dana will happily let Izzy jump that queue.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried. If Izzy wants the fight, Izzy will get the fight. Is what I think. Because, I mean, you can say, well, Izzy lost his last fight, but he was a champion for a long time. And
he's got the star.
He's the last person to beat Pereira, and he's the biggest star in the sport, not named Conor McGregor. So Izzy can definitely jump the queue, and they'll tell Jamal, no, don't worry, you will get the shot next, but you're just gonna have to wait a little longer because we want Izzy to fight Pereira next.
Yeah,
and he's injured, so you could probably make up the excuse. Jamal Hill's next fight will be for the belt, but will it be against Izzy or will it be against Pereira? Remains to be seen if Izzy gets that fight. So I think I would have thought Johnny Walker could have got a title shot if he beat Ankalaev. Now there's potentially two contenders in between him and the belt. So if Johnny Walker Ankalaev, I think the winner of that fight's Jiri. That's what I would do. Yeah. Realistically, because Jan's booked.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on how things shake out because Ankalaev and Johnny Walker are both booked as well against each other. Again. I don't know how that one goes.
Yeah. Who is Jan fighting? Is he fighting?
What's his name? You know who
Rakic?
I mean. Rakic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fighting. That's a good fight too. I like that.
Well, they did it before.
Yes, they did.
And Rakic's knee exploded.
Yes, they did. But
I don't think I care to see it. I don't find Rakic that interesting, and I think Jan's probably just too old now. I think he probably just gets taken down and fucked about there.
Yeah, true. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I know it's a bit down the rankings, and they're not going to do it, but I'd love to see Jiri fight Roundtree.
Yeah, that would be a banger.
That'd be a bang. I'm just looking at the names and I'm like, that's a banger fight. He's ranked 11. He's too low down to do it.
Yeah.
But get Khalil Roundtree like an Anthony Smith. Oh, you know what? Give Jiri Anthony Smith.
Oh, what a showcase that'd be.
Yeah, give... You know what? I'm so over Anthony Smith. That's been a funny meme
canvas.
This week. Yeah, please. Yeah,
to
exactly.
Just perform against.
Yeah, you know what? That's the next fight.
Yeah,
Yes, I've decided. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Just see Anthony Smith get the shit kicked out of him by Jiri.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Because I love Jiri. I want him to beat everyone he fights not named Alex Pereira in this division. You know what I mean? They're my two favorite light heavyweights at the moment, and they both fought yesterday. So it was that was fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. Their stare down, bro, fantastic.
Oh,
how good was that? Yeah, that was fun, and that was the one where we were sitting there like watching the card, going, "Love that this has been first round finish, second round finish, first round finish," but we're like, I wouldn't mind this being 5 rounds now. I want to see 5 rounds of fucking hell, Yeah. Finish second round, but. Fun, two great fighters. I don't think Jiri loses too much from that because Alex Pereira is very well regarded, very well liked, and there was slight controversy with Jiri, and Jiri didn't look bad in the fight.
No, he held his own well, and he's been typically Jiri in his sort of... He's come out after the loss and been like, look, my God, I was right. I'm okay. I will learn from this. You know, in his sort of stoic...
Yeah.
I am a samurai sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. I mean, Jiri will be back. Give him Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
Give him Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
Feed Anthony Smith to him, please. I beg you. And then I think Alex and Izzy 3, UFC 300. That's what I want. I mean, it's one of the biggest rivalries of this era of the UFC. And it's your big star in Izzy. Why not do it? They're 1-1 in MMA. Different division, different title. Love it. What a story. And I love Alex's call out. I think it's great, him being like, you pulled me out of the bar. You motivated me. Let me do the same for you. Like these lifelong rivals. Fucking let's go. Why not?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if that's the one I want to see in terms of like the actual fight. I feel like we have seen that a lot now. We sort of know how they fight. But I like it for the spectacle. So I'm sort of 50-50 on Jamal or Adesanya.
Yeah, I think, I don't mind either way. I guess I just like it because I don't like Jamal Hill. And Izzy and Pereira, if Pereira won or Izzy won, I'm not going to be mad. You know what I mean? It's just a fight that Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you mean. I mean, I'd be rooting for Izzy, but if Pereira won, I'd be like, well, I like Pereira too, so it's not like it wasn't over. Yeah, fair enough. Whereas if Jamal Hill beat Pereira, I'd be really fucking annoyed. And I'd actually be fucked off, to be honest with you. So
yeah, same.
Anyway. Let's move on to the co-main event, the interim heavyweight championship.
Yes.
Of the world.
Undisputed.
Sergei Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall with the first round knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, again, what I loved about this card was the co-main and the main. I'm like, love all these fighters. Not really going to be upset at the results of either of the fights. I like Alex a bit more than Jiri, but they're my two favorite light heavyweights. Now, in terms of heavyweights to watch, Pav, fun fighter to watch.
Pav is the heavyweight.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's the old school heavyweight, just a heavy hitter that just goes in there to bang. I love it. He's very like Shane Carwin. Reminds me of the Brock Lesnar, Shane Carwin era of heavyweight. That's just like, let's go. Someone's going down. It's first round, guarantee. Love that shit. But in terms of heavyweights that I like the guy, like what they're about, like their fight style. Other than, Pav's beaten my two favorite heavyweights in Derek Lewis and tied Bam Bam Tuivasa in his last couple of fights, so that's pissed me off. But I still like Pav in spite of that. But after those two heavyweights, my next favorite heavyweight that I really like and is just a great, great fucking guy is Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
So I was definitely rooting for Tom out of the two. But in my head, I'm like, I just think Pav's going to win. I'm sorry. I'm 2 weeks notice. I just think Pav's going to win. But fucking hell, was I wrong.
Ugh.
What were you? You're an English man yourself.
Yes, that's true.
You were absolutely... I was so happy for you. You were absolutely buzzing. You were sending me voice notes after it happened. It was just like, holy shit. You were dreading it as you normally do going into fights like this. Tell me about your emotions and how you felt about that fight. Because it was, what, a 1 minute fight?
Yeah. My head picked Tom. But as the fight started drawing closer, my heart started picking Pavlovich.
You mean your heart picked Tom and then your head was picking Pav? Is that what you mean?
No, I mean like vibe-wise. I was going with
the
Pav,
vibe.
But
okay.
Tom had every right to win that fight in terms of he's such a more diverse fighter.
Yeah.
He has things that have previously troubled Pavlovich and nobody else has been able to do to him.
Yeah.
But also big swingy Russian man. can just fucking knock. You know, he could just put Tom away.
And Tom talking about how scary he was, I was like, okay, man.
Yeah, and Tom as well. His defense a lot of the time is to fling his head out of range, like some sort of Dominic Cruz stuff.
Yeah,
which is fine and good when you're fighting, I don't know, Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Pavlovich
but the
is
speed
so
of
long.
Pav, yeah,
Well,
he's long and
he's so
fast.
fucking long.
Yeah.
It's like his arms detach and just sort of swing through the air.
Just like
they're ridiculous. Which is something that Tom said. He said afterwards, like the opening minute, I guess, of the fight, he was struggling a bit with the range. He was finding that Pav was coming closer than he'd like. I think I was just on the edge of my seat for the entire 1 minute 5 seconds that it lasted. Just like a genuinely nail biting fight at every moment.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting Tom to knock him out at all.
Oh, bro.
We've not seen Pavlovich look hurt, really. He's eaten shots from fucking big boys.
I don't know, though. Like, it was funny. I think we're sitting there just knew, I'm like, we knew this is not going out of the first round. Not a fucking chance this is going out of the first round. And we were sitting here going, well, I think Pav's got this. And then Pav got one good hit on him. We're like, oh,
yes,
shit. And it was just like, oh, no. And then the way Tom was like sort of pulling his head back.
Yeah.
But then he landed, God, the speed on Tom when he landed. The 1-2, jab right to his chest, 2 right to the fucking dome. And when Pav, the way the camera was going and Pav wobbled, that was the moment. I was like, over. This is, I knew straight away. I was like, done. I was like, oh shit, it's over. Lands that follow-up shot, drops him completely out cold. Follow-up strikes. Tom Aspinall wins the interim heavyweight championship. I mean, this is one of those interim titles that you just know is going to get automatically promoted to undisputed. You know what I mean? Like, this feels like John Jones, Stipe Miocic felt like a world heavyweight championship fight that was a win-lose both guys' last fight, pretty much. This is a legacy fight, 2 of the greatest ever. Win-lose, both guys are pretty much done. Especially probably the guy that wins is done.
Yeah.
Whereas Jones, if he'd lost, he'd probably not be able to live with himself, which just brings me so much joy. Whereas this fight felt like the 2 best next generation heavyweights. And it feels like we've got 2 different heavyweight divisions. It feels like we've got a champion fighting a challenger that's more about a story and a legacy that's bigger than any division. And this felt like the true heavyweight championship fight, if that makes sense. Next heavyweight champion.
This was your Whittaker Romero.
I totally agree. Yeah, Whittaker Romero. Though Romero, arguably 50 years old, we don't know, from Cuba. Could be 30, could be 75. We really don't know how old he is. Yeah, I agree. It really felt like that, where you had Bisping as the undisputed champion defending against George St. Pierre while Robert Whittaker was the interim. And we just sort of knew, it was like, well, both guys are having this fight and then retiring, and then Rob's just going to be the undisputed, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sergei and Tom. Tom's not fighting John Jones. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. John Jones is not fighting Tom Aspinall. And it's neither Stipe Miocic. So you just sort of know that. Like, they'll say, Tom will just sit out and wait for the winner of that. But we all know, I'm like, well, if Jones beats Stipe, Jones will retire. And if Stipe wins, Stipe will retire. There's no way Stipe's fighting Tom Aspinall. Like, no way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Stipe would fight Jones, and then, like, there's more of a chance of Stipe fighting Tom Aspinall, but I don't think either of them are.
Did you see Stipe in the crowd watching on? Just looking fucking like, not a chance.
No, well, I mean, with all due respect to Tom Aspinall, and with all due respect to Pav and the entire heavyweight division, Stipe doesn't need to fight you.
No.
And I respect Stipe a fucking shitload. Like, he doesn't need to. He doesn't know. His legacy's written. He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Yeah. Like, that's a fucking fact. You beat Daniel Cormier twice, bro. I don't care who you are. You're the greatest of all time. That's insane.
So John
the people
Jones
Stipe beat
is the is the greatest.
Well,
of all time.
Jones has only beat DC once by
Okay.
decision. By decision as well, whereas Stipe actually finished him. And not on steroids. So, we don't count the no contest where John Jones, hides under rings so USADA can't test him,
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't count John. And I mean, I fucking hate John Jones. I'll still call him, like, if someone's like, gun to your head, who's the greatest UFC fighter ever? I'm like, well, I guess it's John Jones. I've said it on this podcast. So it's not like that, but I'm just talking about as the greatest heavyweight of all time. John Jones beating Cyril Gane is not making the greatest heavyweight of all time.
No.
Like, yeah, okay, he's the greatest mixed martial artist, but the greatest heavyweight in a heavyweight division, it's Stipe Miocic. It's Stipe Miocic.
Until John Jones beats him and then takes that from him, as will be the marketing.
It will be the marketing, but even if Jones beats Stipe at this point of their careers, it's like Mayweather.
Stipe is what, like 42?
Yeah, it doesn't care. Stipe's defended the heavyweight title more than anyone ever has.
Yeah,
like he's the greatest heavyweight of all time and undisputed.
Did you see the clip of Stipe walking and like his bones look like they fucking fused together?
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a reason that John Jones is fighting Stipe Miocic.
There is.
It's the easiest fight he can reasonably ask for right now.
Yeah, and it's the greatest return legacy wise.
I don't agree. I think what would really fucking cement him as a late career great would be fighting Tom Aspinall and showing like, hey, I can still hang with these fucking young guys. Issue is, I don't think you can hang with these young guys, and I think
I'm a hater, so I the take it with a grain of salt. Like I agree. I think Tom Aspinall beats John Jones. I think Jones can beat Tom.
I agree.
But I would be picking Tom. You know what I mean? It's not like, Tom would fuck up John Jones. I don't think anyone fucks up John Jones. That's just not. John Jones doesn't fight that way. He's Floyd Mayweather of MMA. He's like, sure, he is one of the greatest of all time, no doubt about it, like Floyd. But he fights the same career. I take the safest fights with the easiest route to victory. I take no risks. You know what I mean? Like, he is Floyd Mayweather in every regard. It's not Volk goes like, I'll travel to the Middle East and fight the pound for pound number 2 when I'm the pound for pound number 1 on 10 days notice. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Move up a weight class. Like, that's real fighter shit. John Jones ain't that. You know what I mean?
I do think, though, if there's...
It's apples and oranges.
Tom's approach to asking for John Jones has been with reverence. Like, he's
the right approach.
It's definitely the right approach to...
Right approach to a narcissist.
If John Jones was ever going to do it, it would be the approach that Tom's using, which is, you are the greatest of all time. Please let me test myself. Let me be part of your legacy one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
I don't think it'll happen.
John Jones is a big narcissist and he loves people sucking him off. So
yeah,
it's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, it's a shame because it won't happen.
No.
And we'll get Tom versus Jailton Almeida or something.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Did you see Cyril Gane?
Yeah.
Immediately called him out after Tom
flew
to fucking Paris. Tried to make a fight with Cyril Gane, and Gane was like, I do not need to do this, I just want the title shot.
Cyril Gane's a bit of a cuck, so
he's a bit of
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I really dislike him, actually.
But I would love to see that fight just because of the England versus France for a heavyweight title. I just sort of love that as an outsider.
Yeah.
As an outside sports fan, I just sort of love an English champion fighting a French contender. It's also probably the best fight at heavyweight you could make stylistically. It would be fun as fuck to watch. I think they will fight for the heavyweight title one day.
I agree.
But I think
Gunn
Cyril
needs one more win.
I agree with that. Definitely. When you get embarrassed so
especially
badly and fuck up that John Jones fight so badly.
Tom has also said, like, I'm not, I've tried to fight you and you turned me down and I made so much effort to make this thing happen and you put none in and didn't want me. So, like, go kick rocks for a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
I wouldn't mind seeing, like, if... Do you know who's been begging for a title shot, just never got one? Is Curtis Blades. Give Curtis Blades one more fight if he can win. I wouldn't mind seeing that rematch happen.
This is the thing. Because he just lost to Pavlovich, so it's hard to book him in a fight with Tom now.
Yeah, well, exactly. But that's what I'm
So
saying.
he
Have
needs
Cyril
that
Gane, Curtis Blades fight, number one
Yeah.
contender.
Yeah,
That's what I'd
but
say.
Gunn won't fucking take it because he won't take a hard fight. He's been asked about Curtis Blades before, and he's been like, "No, I'm not interested in that."
Well, then what's Gane going to do?
Well, yeah,
Just
I mean, I
sit
think
on the sideline? He has to
I
fight
think
somebody.
I think eventually he'll be forced into a tough fight.
Because
I don't know,
Stipe...
It's likely he'll fucking rematch Derek Lewis than.
Or do you
fight
have
someone
Pav
tough.
and Gane fight each other?
You could do.
I'd
You
like-
could totally do that, but then
Yeah.
what does that do for Pav at this stage? He's not getting like.
Well, I mean,
Tom
you beat
has-
number one, then you become number one, then you what? You definitely need one more, and you get a rematch with Tom.
I think after you get blown out of the water that fast, it's
Yeah,
hard
that's
to
true.
justify. It's like that. It's like Cub Swanson, Jose Aldo, where like
Yeah.
blew him out of the water in seconds, and it's sort of like, we sort of have seen that now, and I don't think that's the case. I think Pavlovich can definitely get back there, but I think he has to
Yeah.
work hard for it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay.
We agreed that this is technically the undisputed championship then.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's this. Tom Aspinall is the future undisputed champion. Is
Yeah,
what
I would
say.
argue current is what I would
Yeah,
say.
you can. He's not, but I think he will. I think he almost 100% will just be awarded it.
Yeah, of course, he'll be promoted for sure. But
Yes.
I think when your heavyweight champion is refusing to fight contenders that aren't 42 and off a 3-year layoff
I'm with
after a brutal
Yeah.
knockout. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how long John Jones is going to be out, and John Jones is getting old. Like,
He
if
said
Jones,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I just think at this age, when John Jones has his injury, I sat there like, I don't know if we ever see Jones fight again. There's a chance. There's
Yeah.
a chance. We never know with injuries. Like, he could get re-injured in rehab. Like, you just don't know when you get to that age, being that big, and when you're on all of the steroids, more prone to injury. You just don't know. And John
God,
Jones, proven cheater forever, he still is most certainly, and I'm sure he's on all the steroids. And every chance he gets injured again, fuck that guy. But anyway, I'll just take any shot I can at hating on John Jones because I love to do it.
I'd love it if he came back looking like TJ in the RJ fight.
Oh, I would love Tom to just fuck his life up, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't take a risk. He'd pull out of a fight in the first. He's not TJ. He's not a real
you're
fighter.
right.
As much
You're
as TJ's also a cheater, TJ's also a fucking dog. So. Anyway.
Yeah, right you are.
Anyway, women's strawweight bout, Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern. I mean, do you know who one of my favorite coaches in MMA are? Gaz, it's Jason Perillo. I fucking love Jason Perillo.
Yeah.
Coach Michael Bisping, Cheeto Vera, like great striking coach. Fucking awesome. Love his attitude, love his mentality, love him as a coach. Mackenzie Dern drops one of the best striking coaches in MMA in Jason Perillo, and then looks terrible against Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, she had a jab, and that was about it.
It was a quick jab for about a minute.
Yeah.
Bro, Jessica Andrade is one of my favorite.
I thought Andrade was
strawweights.
done. I loved Jessica Andrade as well, and I was quite convinced that she was done.
I just
After,
thought
3 fights back to back losing.
Yeah, but what Jan did to her in that last fight, because I wanted to go back to strawweight because I'm like, she's a strawweight. That's where she'd be.
Yeah.
But then Jan beat her, but I'm like, is it just that Jan's that good and not that Andrade is fallen off? That's what I was like crossing my mind. And then as they're walking out, I thought the same as you. I'm like, oh, McKinsey's probably got it because I think Andrade is done. And then I thought to myself, wait, no, maybe Jan's actually just that good. And I totally changed my mind. I was like, I actually think Andrade ain't done. And she proved that. She was patient.
Yeah.
And I think she is a bit older and is, I think, having to change a bit of how she fights, being a bit more patient. And
She's got a low kick now.
She does. I think she's developing a different style with her age and the way she needs to move. And she doesn't have maybe the speed and the cardio that she once had. She stayed patient, picked apart Dern, picked her spots. And when it came to the second round, just kept dropping her. Some of these women's fights aren't always the most exciting when they put them on this card. This was one I circled being like, no, I think this is a good matchup.
Yeah.
Super exciting fight. Absolutely delivered on this card. Fantastic fight. Dern looked terrible. If you like Andrade like you do, like I do, fun fight, great result. I mean, Andrade's just right back in there now, bro.
Yeah.
She could absolutely fight Weili again. It's the only fight I really want to see Weili have if she does beat Jan and Suarez. So I would like to see, I mean, Suarez fight Esparza. Andrade's already beat Lemos. I don't really know.
Suarez fighting Esparza? There's actually...
No, I want to see Suarez fight Esparza.
Zhang doesn't have a fight booked yet.
I thought Zhang was fighting Jan.
No, I thought... Well, when the Shanghai event got rumoured, we all assumed that it was going to be Zhang.
I thought that got announced. What is wrong with me?
No. I think I might have told you that's what they were going to do. They
maybe.
didn't do it. They went for Song Dong. So
true.
Jan, Jan's not booked yet.
Then
I imagine she'll be early next year. Maybe she'll be like a co-main on the O'Malley or something.
No, the co-main. True, or maybe Volk.
Yeah,
because the women's bantamweight is the co-main for the Strickland. Oh, what a snooze fest fight that is too. Jesus.
Yeah, terrible
Christ.
fight.
God, man, the women's MMA is getting worse. Like, who are these fighters, bro? Strawweight's great. I love strawweight. That's still a great fucking division.
I think flyweight's getting better.
Slowly, though. It's fucking
slow.
Oh,
yeah. And they've just lost fucking Tyler Santos. They just cut Tyler Santos.
Yeah, they did. Did they cut her, or did she
I think she probably
popped?
It wasn't being... I think she probably wasn't being offered enough money. She is gone. Okay. It's not just a suspension.
Right, okay.
I think she probably was just like, I'd rather beat up bums, actually.
Fair enough.
I'm getting paid this much.
Flyweight's taken its sweet ass time to get good, but it is getting there. I mean, Grasso's injection's been fantastic. And they've given her a custom belt, which is fucking awesome. I love that. I actually love that shit.
Yeah.
And then strawweight's always good, though since Joanna era's sort of ended. Not as good, but still very good. Best fights to watch for sure is strawweight.
Yeah.
And then the women's bantamweight is just absolutely fucking depressing, bro.
Yeah.
The fact that it's 2023 and Miesha Tate and Holly Holm are still up there is just like, what the fuck is going on?
I would be gleeful if they just closed that division. I have no interest in ever watching another women's bantamweight fight. Like with Nunes gone.
With Nunes gone,
I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Bring it back in 5 years, see how it goes then. Or don't.
I mean, they have deleted women's featherweight. It's no longer in the rankings. It's just gone. Yeah. So women's featherweight is no more. Bro, it's a fucking disaster, eh? I mean, you look at the women's pound for pound. Juliana Pena's number 4, bro.
Oh.
Carla Esparza number 7. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. It's gotten worse over the last few years. And it's annoying me because there was some times where I was really enjoying women's MMA and I thought it was like, this is going to be really good in a few years. But yeah, it's fallen off. But it is what it is. Anyway,
I think
that was a great fight.
It just will take a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We get down to the lightweight division. Mats, there's something in the water. Frivola, against Benoit Saint-Denis. Fuck yeah, dude. Benoit, bro.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. That was probably the biggest reaction I had of like a oh shit moment of the card. Like that kick, oh my God.
Incredible knockout.
Dude.
I mean, Frivola not defending himself at all. Yeah. Really silly. I don't really... it's hard to shit on a fighter after a loss.
And I like Frivola. He's a good guy. Good fighter.
Yeah, I like Frivola. Yeah. I thought this fight was going to be closer than expected, and it was looking to be that until Frivola just exited with his hands down. Yeah, it was scrappy and competitive.
It was,
I was minute and a half or whatever.
I was pumped for this fight, bro. I was like, this will be a banger fight. You just knew it. And dude, Benoit, I like him at... Not a fan of the French, but man, I like him at lightweight. I like this guy. I'm just joking. I don't think it's French. But Benoit at lightweight, bro, I really, really like. This is... When you talk about the next generation of lightweight, Gamrot and all that shit, I'm like, they're all fucking lame. Who gives a fuck? Benoit, I'm about this. This is the next generation lightweight that I want to see. He is an animal. His walkout song was sick. His nickname's a God of War. Like, bro, I like this shit. This is exciting. He could be a real fucking threat.
I want to see him against either Dan Hooker or Bobby Green.
Fuck off is what I'll say to that. You leave Dan Hooker alone. You leave Dan Hooker alone.
I think he can win it.
But I don't want, like, I want Benoit to go up the division and I want Dan Hooker to go up the division. You know what I mean?
That's
Fuck
fair.
off. I want them both.
I would go for loser. So if Hooker beats Green, then I would.
Do you know what I want? I want him to fight Jalen Turner. I want Benoit to fight Jalen Turner next.
That's fine as well. I'm fine with that. But what I'd like to have...
Rafael dos Anjos is still in... Like, he's ranked number 10. Like,
he's not
RDA's not going to do anything.
I don't know why they're keeping him there.
And he's also...
times, I'm a welterweight. Stop.
And also, like, I'm not trying to be champion. I just want, like, good legacy fights.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarukian is... Arman's booked against...
Beneil.
Beneil. I mean, Fiziv's injured for ages, hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Gamrot got a fight?
Gamrot does not, I don't think. Who did he just fight? Oh, he just fought Fiziv. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Gamrot, I mean, he's not fight. I mean, Gamrot, Dustin Poirier is probably the next fight you want to make there in terms of rankings.
I don't think Dustin will take it.
I mean, Dustin's got to fight somebody and he seems like he wants to fight soon. And he's not fighting Gaethje, he's not fighting Oliveira, he's not fighting Islam.
No, I think he might take one at 170. Just have like a fun scrap.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with that.
Like an RDA or something.
Okay. Well, then I guess for me, Bobby Green's fighting Dan Hooker, which I just fucking love that fight for both those guys. I think for Benoit, I guess I'd love to see him fight Jalen Turner then. Or Gamrot. Just say fuck it. Fight Gamrot number 6. I don't know.
Yeah, what I'd love, right, is you've got Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, they're fighting. Let's say loser fights Benoit, winner fights Poirier. Rematch.
Okay. Yep.
Just like, because Poirier's only going to fight cool scrappers, I think at this point. He doesn't give a fuck about like lay and prey scrambly boys, like someone like a Gamrot or an Sayukin or whatever. I don't need to see Poirier fight those guys. Unless he really wants to be champion still.
I think
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does,
bro.
But I don't think he wants to do the... I don't think he wants... it's hard to say because I love Poirier, but...
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to act like a contender still.
Yeah.
I think he kind of just wants to pick his fights and maybe he'll get a title shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Benoit Saint-Denis, what a performance. Just looked fucking awesome. And one of the knockouts of the year, bro. And his post-fight promo as well was so good. He's got a fan. I'm a big fan. He's absolutely won me over with that performance.
Yeah, he's very cool. I can't wait to see him fight better guys.
Yeah, me too. Did they give... Oh, Dana gave out performance of the night to everyone. Yeah, fuck yeah. Everyone on the main card got a performance of the night because they're all finishers. And then the fight of the night was that prelim one that I saw people talk about but didn't watch. So
it was good. Yeah, it was a banger.
I might go back and watch that. Shout out to Jared Gordon, who had a great performance as well. Shout out to Godinez, who definitely won that fight, somehow split decision because one judge has clearly got a thing for Ricky.
Ricci, not Ricky.
Ricci, but whatever. Who gives a fuck? Well, apparently that judge was thirsty. And then Urseg, Steve, the Aussie, was really excited to see him fight. Former Eternal champion. And he looked good, really good in the first round. Look, a bit of a scrappy performance, but he got the win. So shout out to him. I'll take it. But then let's have a look. Diego Lopez, star-making performance. Oh. Really fun fighter. You were hoping for it. Fought pretty much a guy that looked like he was made out of Lego. Just absolutely bizarre. Don't know who Pat Sabatini is, but Diego Lopez, fuck yeah, looked phenomenal once again in that fight. Just a perfect fucking performance, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Wasn't expecting him to knock him out.
No, not in the first
given
round.
who
Like he
Lopez
just got that main card started with an absolute bang.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just got a vibe as soon as that fight happened and that happened. I was like, we're on here. MSG magic is happening.
Well, pretty much all the prelims were great as well. Like there was one shit one, two shit ones.
Well, if you know fighting, you knew.
Yeah.
You knew with these matchups. Not all big names, but stylistically, like just good matchups, good fights. I wouldn't say that about early prelims other than Jared Gordon because I don't think I know anybody on the early prelims, looking at it now, other than Jared Gordon. But prelim-wise and then main card-wise, I was like, these are good fights. Really good fights. Lopez, ranked opponent next?
I'd like that. Yeah, he's a featherweight? Yeah.
Featherweight is great for the division, bro. He's great for the featherweight division. We're definitely in that transition era for featherweight, where, Volk's 35, and though he will retire as the champion, never losing at featherweight, that's only a couple years away. And by that point, Lopez might be heading towards the top 10, top 5. And then, Volk can retire and guys like Lopez, guys not necessarily Lopez, but guys like Lopez can come in and make a name for themselves by beating top contenders or, anyone like that to become champion for a vacant title when Volk inevitably retires undefeated at featherweight. So,
I'd be cool with him versus like a Caceres or an Ige.
Yeah, that's Ige's a good fight. That's a good shout. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, Dan Ige, Lopez, great fight. Really like Lopez. Great card. Loved UFC 295. Just a fun card overall to watch. Some good results. My favorite moment of the card though was Tom Aspinall winning the interim heavyweight championship, and I assume that was yours as well.
Yeah, God,
a fun moment, great post-fight speech, great guy, the tears and everything, and then giving the belt to his dad. Like, you've got to love that.
We completely forgot to mention, but he fucking pulled his back out like immediately.
He did.
And he said he had about 5 days of training camp as a result. He just couldn't train for a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, he took the fight on 2 weeks' notice. So, in my head, I'm like, they don't have a training camp anyway. They were. It was just like, let's see what fucking happens, swang and bang.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. He was about to go on holiday, like the next day.
Yeah. I get it. So I don't know. I don't take much out of that stuff, bro. When people are like, well, I was injured 2 weeks ago. Blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But, you took the fight.
But
you fought. You obviously fought well. So it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I take that, win or lose, I take that stuff like that. It doesn't faze me too much when people say that.
No, it's not like...
Because I'm sure Sergei was fucking
injured
of the somehow too. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's injured. Everyone's hurt.
Yeah, it's not the story of the fight, but it makes it more impressive to me that he couldn't train properly for even the short notice that he was given. Yeah,
well, it's heavyweight, so it's just sort of like, whatever.
Just show up and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You could do that. Derek Lewis did that for years. He only started training last year, really, didn't he?
Yeah, don't think he did cardio, did he? He just sort of like hit pads.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, then Tom gave his dad the belt as well. That was just such a good moment. But then I just sat there going, like, how fucking big must his mum be? Jesus Christ almighty. Fucking hell. His dad is tiny compared to him.
That's a small man.
His mum's Brienne of Tarth or something. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah. Anyway, 295. Great card.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, let's just quickly go through. We've had 3 main events announced to start 2024. Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland for the middleweight title at UFC 297. UFC 298 main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria, which is just the fight we all want to see at featherweight. Mm-hmm. And then UFC 299, Cheeto O'Malley 2 for the bantamweight title. Love that fight. Favorite fight you can make right now in that division. And my 2 favorite bantamweights as well. So I just like biasly, whether it's right or wrong, they're my 2 favorite bantamweights. So I want to see that fight.
Yeah, that's valid.
But to be fair as well, like Volk, and then there's like 7,000 miles of air between my favorite featherweight in Volk and my second favorite featherweight. But my second favorite featherweight is Ilia Topuria.
Yeah.
So it is my favorite versus second favorite, but it doesn't feel the same because I do care who wins.
Yeah.
I hope Ilia dies. You know what I mean? Whereas like Cheeto, O'Malley, I really don't give a fuck who wins. I love both those guys. I'm for the sport, Sean probably to win, but for who I like better, I want Cheeto to win. Because I just love Cheeto, you know, family man, great guy, a Perillo product, like just a big fan of Cheeto and his story. You know, a guy from Ecuador that, you know, moved to the States just to make enough money to pay for his daughter's surgery. Like I just love stories like that, and to see him come as far as he's come to now be fighting for a world championship. You know, I just love stories like that being completed. But for the sport, O'Malley, obviously a big star. That'd be good if he got the win too. And they'd be 1-1. So if Cheeto eventually got back, he could potentially get a rematch down the road. We don't know.
He definitely
Though Sean probably wouldn't give it to him because he's that type of star. Like, and is he like a McGregor that once he beats someone that's beaten them, they're like, well, I'm done. I don't need to ever beat them again.
Yeah.
And O'Malley strikes me as that sort of guy too. Yeah. Then I know you don't like that fight though. I know you don't like that.
Okay. I don't dislike that fight.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances, it's whatever. Like it is objectively a really cool fight. Cheeto is sort of unkillable. Might keep coming forward depending on how he feels. He's got a lot of things that Sean can exploit, but likewise he has that durability to where he could just wear Sean down over those 5 rounds. Cool fight. In a world where both Corey Sandhagen and Merab Dvalishvili are free, I would have liked to have seen Corey Sandhagen get it. However, he doesn't have an elbow at the moment, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I know you hate Corey, but like...
I don't hate Corey. I hate Corey. I don't hate Corey, but I like to hate on him more because you like him so much.
Yeah.
I actually have recently been seeing a lot of clips of him for some reason pop up, and every time he talks, I'm like, don't make me like you a little bit. Like I sort of like he did. I love Luke Thomas, and he did an interview with Luke, and I really enjoyed that. And I was like, that annoys me because I don't want to like you. I enjoy hating you because it annoys you, and I enjoy that. So, but yeah. Anyway, Merab can fight fucking Corey next.
Yeah.
And Sterling.
Well, he's fighting Cejudo.
Merab.
Yeah.
Is that booked though? I thought that was just
it's booked. I think. Yeah, they both agreed.
Okay. I hope they both lose somehow. Yeah, UFC 298, Volk, Ilia. I mean, that's the fight to make. Feels like this is the time everyone's picking against Volk. This is everyone I'm looking at. Everyone's like, I just feel like this is Ilia's time. Stylistic nightmare, blah, blah. I think you're all fucking
not stylistic nightmare. Disagree with that.
I think you're all going to eat dicks come February.
I would love that.
When Volk, I'm sorry, Volk lost to the other pound for pound best fighter in the world. And he's like on 10 days notice when he was barely training, just had a newborn baby and had elbow surgery. Volk full camp, focused, prepared. Are you kidding me, bro? Against any featherweight, he's gonna fuck them up. You're talking about the guy that destroyed Max Holloway, destroyed Yair Rodriguez, destroyed Korean Zombie, destroyed Brian Ortega. He's going to destroy Ilia Topuria.
I hope so.
Mark
I think this
my
is
words.
very much, and for Topuria, it's very much like an "Are you that guy?" performance, where we will either see him completely exposed, or he's going to finish Volk very quickly, I think. Is one or the other. I
think we both wanted him not to take the fight in January.
Yes.
We would have preferred March, but to me, February's a nice middle ground. I'm okay with February.
He actually said, I watched him on Fox, and he was talking about the fact that the people around him who, you know, are like medical professionals and stuff, have said that February's the one to go for.
Yeah.
And if they're people close to Volk and they're recommending that February is a good move, then I trust that. I'm no fucking expert in terms of concussion.
No, well, I'm glad that he listened to them too, to not do January as well. They got Sean, they got Dricus du Plessis, so it was no pressure on Volk. They were able to like still have a solid main event. But obviously the fight Volk and Ilya is such a better fight. That's one of the fights to mark on your calendar for 2024. Very exciting fight. Very excited for the fight. I mean, he's when in doubt go hot. He's the hottest UFC fighter on the roster right now. No doubt about that. And I love that shit. Absolute vibe. Like, look at him. Like, you follow him on Instagram, bro. Him and his girl, they just like, whoo, like they're just like Spanish gods. And then, but at the end of the day, he's going to get his fucking head beaten in.
I'd love that.
It is what it is. It will happen. It is what it is. By the greatest fighter to ever walk the face of this earth in Alexander Volkanovski. Not worried at all, as I really never am every time Volk fights. Because I know Volk's that guy. And is what it is. UFC 297, Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight title. I mean, it's just a fucking meme at this point.
It's
I don't
just
even know
dumb
what to
fun.
say.
Like,
I think Sean's going to win, though. I think Sean's going to win.
I think Sean definitely can.
I'm picking Sean Strickland.
I think Dricus will just bonk him at some point. Which is what I said about Rob as well, but I didn't believe it with Rob.
I don't know. I just think Sean's got idiot strength.
He does.
Like,
he does. Sean. I think Sean will be able to survive the grappling, and I think if he's allowed to fight his fight, he will just come forward and sort of collapse Dricus under himself. I think Dricus will start looking silly, like, as he always does, and he'll just get beaten to fuck against the fence. Yeah, that's sort of what I can see. But I can also see Dricus just catching him with something, not being afraid to throw like Adesanya. I think Dricus will just sort of set down and land some shit. Yeah, and potentially just crack Sean. It is for me. It's a real 50-50, and it's one that I don't care that much about outside of this will be funny. Yeah. True. Yeah, I don't really care about it either. I'll watch it. That co-main's a fucking disaster, but there's some other fun fights in the rest of the card. Big shout out to our boy Carlos Ulberg. He's got the Dominic Reyes fight he called for. So let's fucking go. Let's get into those rankings, baby. Let's go. That's the real one to be excited about. Bro, are you kidding me? Carlos Ulberg getting in the top 12? Let's go, bro. Yeah, I was more talking about sort of Dominic Reyes. Yeah, well, I don't care about Dominic Reyes anymore. He's old shit. Who cares? Whatever. Carlos Ulberg's the future 205, man. He's the next champion. Let's go. Okay. I'm not sure about that, but we'll roll with it for now. Let's go. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. All right. That's it for this episode of Switching Stances. Gaz, do you have anything else you wanted to say? Add? Final thoughts? No, that was it. All right. Let's go. Thanks, everyone, for tuning into this episode of Switching Stances. We'll be back, I guess, to break down at UFC 296, Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, to wrap up 2023 in a few weeks. We will see you all then. Gaz, good luck with your new job, everything like that. Thank you. And we will see you all next time. So thank you so much for tuning in, and goodbye. Goodbye.